Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is my first official day in my new apartment. I got all my stuff moved in yesterday. It was my first time spending the night here. So far, the only room that I really have set up is the living room for the most part, but every other room right now is a disaster. But I thought I would start a reading vlog. I feel like over the next couple of days while I'm getting settled in and unpacking, it would be good to read some steamy romance books that I have on my Kindle. I'm also feeling like I'm in a really big Katie Robert mood. So I had My Dad's Best Friend by Katie Robert on my May TBR, so I figured I would start with this one. This is one of the books in her Touch of Taboo series, and this is a romance with a woman and her dad's best friend. So yeah, I feel like steamy romances would be something good for me to read when I'm taking breaks from the unpacking madness. So yeah, oh, whoa. This cover is very nipply. I don't know if you can see that. Her nipples are like at attention. Now that's all I can see. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start a little bit of this while I have my coffee. I just wanna show you guys that Loki is really loving it here because he's still in bed. He hasn't gotten out of bed yet. Let's see. Hey, you still sleeping? All right, I'll leave you to it. Okay, literally ignore the gigantic mess behind me. My kitchen is a disaster, but I just went and checked my mail because I forgot that I had been sending packages here for the past couple of weeks, and I got Katie Robert's Patreon package, which, by the way, if you are a fan of Katie Robert and you read her books often, I highly recommend checking out her Patreon. It is so worth it. It's $5 a month for her ebooks, so you get access to all of her ebook releases, and then the one that I do is $12 a month and you get all of her paperbacks. So the package this month had these two books. First one is Seducing My Guardian, which is the next book in the Touch of Taboo series that I'm reading right now, and then Broderick, which is the second book in her Sabine Valley series. So yeah, very excited to find those because maybe once I finish My Dad's Best Friend, I can start Seducing My Guardian. I also want to show you the best part of this apartment. The state of it is not great, but this is going to be, where's the light? This is going to be my library room. Obviously haven't set it up yet. I do have the bookshelves placed. I think this is where I'm gonna put them, but I don't know, I could move them around. It is kind of difficult like fitting them together because these three are matching shelves, but then this one is obviously different, so they don't perfectly fit together. And I also have this one in the corner of the room because they didn't fit completely across one wall, so I kind of angled them. I don't know, we'll see. But this is the state of all of my books. I'm thinking I will film like a whole building my dream library video where I set this room up, but that's obviously gonna take a lot of work. So I don't know when I'm gonna do that, but I'm really excited. Since I've lived on my own, I've never had like an office or a room specifically for my books. I've always had to have them like in my bedroom or in the living room. And that was one of the main reasons why I was getting a new apartment, was so I could have my own office. So I finished My Dad's Best Friend, and I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. It was good, but personally, I don't think this was my favorite. The tropes that it had, or not tropes, the kinks, what the characters in this were into was not something that I'm into, so it made me not enjoy it as much on that level. Basically, this is about a woman who took over her father's architect company or like real estate company, something like that, and her father's best friend is a very famous or like very sought after architect, and one of her clients really wants him to build their next house, but he has declined. He doesn't want to do it. So she goes to his house to convince him to take the job, and while she's there ends up being a really big storm and she gets stranded there, so she has to stay the night. We find out that 6 years previously she had come on to him at one of her parents' parties and he rejected her, so she's really like salty about that. And then since they're stuck here for the night, they end up having a thing. But it was like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if there's an actual term for it, but like what they were into was very much like, she was really into him acting like he was not into her sexually. Like while they were having sex, she was into him pretending that he wasn't into it, or like being disappointed in her or annoyed by her. Like that turned her on. And I don't know, that's just not my thing. So it kind of hindered my enjoyment of it a little bit, but it's fine. It's Katie Roberts. She's great. And yeah, I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. It was fine. Not my favorite, but it didn't take me long to read it all. It took me like an hour. So I don't think I'm going to start anything else today, but tomorrow I think I will read the other Katie Robert book I got, the Seducing My Guardian or something like that. Good morning, guys. So today, oh, my mirror is so dirty. Okay, let's not do this. Hi, good morning. So today, like I said, I'm going to start Seducing My Guardian. I do not know what this one is about. So let's find out. On the night my parents die, I meet a sexy new stranger who tells me he's my new guardian. Before I can as much as blink, he ships me off to boarding school and then ignores me for 3 years, until he shows up on my 19th birthday to save me from myself. For 6 years, that's his routine. Show up on my birthday, save me, tempt me, and then send me on my way when the chemistry between us sizzles too hot. That all ends tonight. I'm 25, and at midnight, I gain control of my trust fund. This year, all I want for my birthday is 24 hours with my guardian. Okay. Seducing My Guardian. I'm excited. So I am still reading Seducing My Guardian, but I did start Friends. I needed a new like sitcom to watch. I don't like to sit in silence, so I like to have something playing all day long. So I usually put on some kind of like comedy show. I just finished Schitt's Creek for like the millionth time, and I needed a new one to watch. I remembered that the Friends reunion thing is happening next week. In a couple weeks. It's happening soon. So I thought I would just put Friends on. But you guys, the devastation that I feel. When I was a kid, Friends was the only thing that I watched. Like, I didn't watch cartoons or like, you know, like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel. Like, I watched Friends. I think I was 7 years old when the show ended. I have such a vivid memory of like sitting on the floor in front of the TV watching the last episode and crying. So tell me why I was so devastated when I watched the first episode and I hear them say they're 24. They're 24, which means I'm now officially older than them. At least older than they were in the first season. Life just comes at you fast. I'm sure everyone who's older than me is like, come on, Riley. But like, this was my childhood and now I'm older than them. I don't know why, like in my head, they're just cemented as like adults. And I don't feel like I am there. I don't feel like I'm that old. Anyways, Seducing My Guardian is good so far. I think I'm enjoying this one better than My Dad's Best Friend. However, I feel like it was almost a mistake to read them back to back because at least with these two tropes, there's a lot of similarities. And I noticed that there was even like specific lines that were exactly the same. If I hadn't read them back to back, I don't think I would have even noticed, but since I literally read the other book yesterday, still sitting right here, it was just very obvious, at least the beginning, like how the relationship started and like specific lines or like dialogue that they said back and forth was exactly the same. I really like this series, but at the end of the day, I feel like all the books baseline are the same. They're all some sort of forbidden relationship. The two people finally act on those feelings, or maybe they had some sort of like almost encounter in the past where they almost acted on those feelings but they didn't, and now they are. And in every single book they kind of like role play past encounters where they almost but didn't, and they like redo them, right? So I remember in Your Dad Will Do, which is my favorite one, they were like recreating past encounters where she was still with her boyfriend and they were pretending that like the boyfriend was there and that they're about to get caught, right? And then in My Dad's Best Friend, they're role playing that they actually hooked up at her parents' party many years before when they almost hooked up. So they're like pretending that the parents are about to like find them. And then in this one, they are recreating all of her past birthdays where he like came to save her. So they're kind of all the same book, but like a little bit different, or like different role play scenarios. But at the end of the day, like all the books are kind of the same. So I probably shouldn't have read them back to back, but I am enjoying this one more because it doesn't have that like annoyance kink. I don't know what the kink is called. Okay. So I finished Seducing My Guardian. I liked it. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. So far, how I feel about the series is Your Dad Will Do was my favorite. And then it's probably this one next after that. And then My Dad's Best Friend. I have not read the Christmas one yet. I forgot to read it last Christmas, and now I feel like I have to wait until next Christmas to read it. But I just posted about this book on my Instagram stories, and you guys, y'all kill me. The amount of messages that I got, I don't think I've ever been messaged about something more. So many people DM'd me saying that they read the title as Seducing My Grandma, or Seducing My Grandpa, or some kind of grandparent. And listen, I get it. I read some crazy wild stuff. It is not past the realm of possibility that I would be reading a book called Seducing My Grandpa. But I wouldn't, okay? Safe to say, grandpas, grandmas, not my thing. I'm into a lot of stuff, but safe to say that's not one of the things. But now, every time I look at this book, I can't not see that. Now that I finished that, I need to tackle my kitchen. My kitchen is honestly a disaster, and it's been really difficult to like make food. So I think I'm gonna try to organize this a little bit. Actually, I should listen to music. That new Olivia Rodrigo song came out, and I'm obsessed with it. Let me see. I just wanna like find a YouTube video of it playing on repeat. Let me see. Olivia Rodrigo, Good For You, repeat.
Getting that from YouTube.
Thank you, Alexa. I found one that's 1 hour. I hope my neighbors don't mind. They're gonna listen to this for the next hour. Okay, here is the updated kitchen. Oh my God, this looks so much better, so much cleaner. I still have to unpack some of these kitchen boxes, but I put away everything that was actually on the counter. So now I can at least use the kitchen instead of before. And I filled up these 2 things. I got these at Target. I thought they were so cute. Sugar and coffee. And this one came with this little coffee scoop. So today is my last day to go back and return the keys for my old apartment. And I bought this floor scratch pen that I did scratch the floor a little bit, so I'm gonna try to see if I can cover them up with this so they give me back my security deposit, but I'm not very hopeful because the scratches are kind of bad. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see. But I'm excited to finally be rid of this place and not have to deal with it anymore. Although I'm not excited to go into the office and give them the keys back because the people in the office and I have had some scuffles. They've tried me on a couple things in the past. So I swear to God, if they try me on anything today, I'm not here for it. I'm back. I don't know how well that marker thing worked because it didn't really work at all. So will I get my security deposit back? We are gonna find out. And my kitchen is already a mess again. Oh my God. It looked so nice yesterday. And then I stopped and I bought a bunch of like cleaning supplies and like random kitchen stuff that I needed. Excuse me, Loki. What? Today, I think I'm going to read Parker by Jack Harbin. You guys know I talk about Jack Harbin a lot. I love his books, and he sent me a copy of Parker, which is his newest release, and I don't know anything about it. I know that people have been loving it. A bunch of my friends have rated it 5 stars. I'm very excited, and his books are just always a good time. And I also don't think it's very long. I think it's like around 200 pages, so I feel like that fits. Oh my God, someone's calling me. I don't know who that is. I feel like it fits within my theme for the week. I kind of feel like I want to start doing more just like casual following me around my week vlogs. Are you guys interested in seeing more just like casual vlogs of my life and then like other stuff that I'm reading? Because a lot of times I never talk about the books that I'm not reading for like specific reading vlogs because I'm just never filming a video for them. But if I start doing just videos like this that are more casual vlogs, I can talk about all the random books that I read that I otherwise don't really talk about. Update on Parker. I read like 100 pages of it yesterday, and you guys, I'm obsessed. I love it so much that I'm only 100 pages in. I think I'm like 50%, but I went and I ordered a physical copy because I just know this is gonna be 5 stars, and I want to own a physical copy of it, so I ordered that, and it said it was going to be delivered today or tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. Basically, the plot of this book, we're following this guy. It's a male-male romance, and we're following this guy named Trey, who at the start of the book is escaping an abusive relationship. He drugs his boyfriend, who is abusive, so that he can sneak out without him seeing him. And so he is at a gas station and he doesn't have any money, so he steals a disposable phone and a charger, and this woman sees him doing that, and she stops him outside and says, go inside, return that phone, and come back, and you're coming home with me. You're gonna stay with me. She like notices that he is running away from something bad, and so she takes him in, and when they show up at her house, he walks into the house carrying her purse. One of her sons sees him and thinks that he broke in and like stole his mom's purse. So he like runs over and like puts him in a chokehold, and that's how they meet. So yeah, basically this woman has a family of boys that she has taken in. They're all like orphans or runaways or just people who were needing a home, and she took them in and like made them all family. And so that's what she's doing with this new guy. And so Parker is her oldest son, and she kind of asks him to look after the guy and make sure that he is okay. This book has like the best mutual pining, especially because Trey is out and gay, but Parker up until this point has only been with women and only been attracted to women, but so he's very confused by why suddenly he cannot stop thinking about Trey. Yeah, it is like super emotional. Obviously it deals with a lot of emotional topics because Trey left this really abusive relationship, and he's having some like PTSD and anxiety and panic attacks because of that. And Parker also came from kind of like a bad background. He like bounced around between different like families. Yeah, so far I am really enjoying this. I think it might end up being my favorite Jack Harbin book. And this is what I love so much about Jack's books. Literally every single one is different. I feel like a lot of times especially within romance, when you read enough books from one author, they start to be kind of like repetitive, but literally every single one of Jack's books that I've read has been so different. Meet Cute Club was super like fluffy and lighthearted. His Beauty was like a fantasy monster romance. The Babysitter was like really short, steamy, age gap smut. And this book is like super emotional and deep and angsty, and it's just so good, and the writing is great. I just love it. I love it so much so far. Loki, you just looking out the window? This is now his favorite spot. He just loves to sit right here and watch everyone walk by outside. Ooh, I'm so excited. This is my first official Jack Harbin book that I own physically. I finished Parker, and I'm giving this 5 stars like I thought I was going to. Oh, I was just sitting here thinking this book looked longer than I thought that it did. In my head, this was like 200 pages. So tell me why it's actually almost 400. What? It's 378 pages. This whole time I thought that it was like a 200-page book. It flew by so fast. I feel like if I had known that it was this length, I would have been like more, not intimidated to read it, but like I don't read super long romances often. The romances that I tend to read fall usually between like 150 and 300 pages. So like to me, this is a long romance and I didn't even notice. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. This is definitely gonna be one of my favorite romances of the year. I'm actually putting together my list of my favorite romances so far, because I always do that video halfway in the year, so I'll probably do it at the end of June. And this is for sure gonna be on that list. It was so good. If you haven't picked up any of Jack's previous books, I highly recommend this one. It was incredible, and I love this family. I really hope that he writes more about like the other brothers. I would assume he's going to, because he gave them like a lot of backstory. Like he gave all of the brothers like their own plot kind of, so I would assume he's writing more books. A Wolfpack novel. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna assume that Wolfpack. Oh my god, throwback. Some of you might not remember, but I had, when I first started my booktube channel, I had a group of like booktube friends and we called ourselves the Wolfpack. Yeah, okay, so it's a Wolfpack novel. Oh, book 1. Oh my god, I'm so freaking dumb. Book 1, oh my god, yay! I wonder who the next book is gonna be about. Okay, so let's pick another book. I was looking on my Kindle to see like what I had downloaded recently, and I remembered that I had Hero by Rowe. I think I put this on my 5-star prediction video. I think I did, I'm pretty sure I did. And it wasn't specifically this book, it was just Rowe in general. But I've been told that this is where I should start. I think that most of her books take place in the same universe, and like the characters sort of cross between all of them. And this is the first book in the Morgan Brothers series. So this series is following a group of brothers, and the first one is a firefighter romance. The guy is a fireman, and I believe he gets into an accident, like he's trying to save someone from a fire, and he like hurts himself really bad, and the woman is his physical therapist. That's all I know. I've also been told that I should listen to this on audio. A couple people have told me that the audiobooks are really good, so I think I'm gonna do that because I have it downloaded from Kindle Unlimited, so that means that I can get the audiobook for like really cheap. So that is gonna be the next book that I'm reading. And yeah, I'm excited to see what Lauren Rowe's writing is like, because I know that Brie from In Love and Words raves about Lauren Rowe. Brie and I tend to have like really similar taste when it comes to romance books. I feel like most of her favorite romance books are also my favorite romance books. So I've always been very curious about Lauren Rowe. Okay, maybe I put on my glasses so you couldn't tell that I've been crying all day. I finished Hero. Oh my god, I was not expecting this book to be as emotional as it was. Literally within the first chapter, I started crying. It was so emotional, I wasn't prepared, especially reading it directly after Parker, which was already kind of like a heavy emotional book. This book was like a fucking episode of Grey's Anatomy. And like one of the really sad episodes of Grey's Anatomy. That was the emotional turmoil I was feeling. Basically, at the start of the book, the main character she's married, she has a husband, they have 2 kids, and he is a police officer, and she finds out that while he was on duty, he was shot in the head and he died. And obviously that was like super traumatic for her, adding on top of the fact that that morning she found out she was pregnant with their 3rd child. Oh my god, that made me cry so much. And then we flash forward, it's dual perspective. So then we go to the guy's point of view. He's a firefighter and there is a fire. He finds out that the only person left in the building is a baby. So he goes in to save the baby, and a beam falls or a wall falls and they get trapped. Something like falls on his leg and like breaks his leg. Like he gets fucked up. He's so messed up. And so then the 2 characters meet because she turns out she is going to be his physical therapist. So we cut to them being in the hospital. When they meet for the first time, it's kind of like insta love at first sight almost. Like he sees her as like his guardian angel. So throughout the book, we're following both of them, him in recovery, her helping him through recovery. There's all these like obstacles for them, obviously, because there's a rule that physical therapists and patients aren't allowed to have a romantic relationship. So they have to like keep their hands to themselves. But oh my god, I loved this book. I loved it. Their connection, I bought it. Like it was insta love, but I was buying what they were selling. I was buying it. It made sense that they fell in love with each other so fast. And I loved her kids. I feel like I've talked about this before. I don't typically like kid characters in books. They're kind of annoying to me, but her kids were so cute. I loved them, and I loved the little like family that they made. I also loved his family, like all of his brothers. So I'm excited now to continue on this series. I kind of want to binge it, but I should probably finish my actual May TBR before I completely get derailed and become obsessed with this whole world. Because I know beyond just the 5 Morgan Brothers books, there's I think 3 books about his sister, and then there's 2 books about like a music producer character that they've mentioned a couple times. I think there's even more books than that. Like there's so many books following this whole like interconnected web of characters. So yeah, I ended up giving it 4 stars because my only critique of it, it would have been 5 stars had it not been for this one thing. It just made me a little bit uncomfortable at times. I don't know, jealousy over a dead spouse is a little iffy. He was very, very jealous over her dead husband in a way that was almost aggressive and like really possessive, and I wasn't into it. Luckily, he got over that. There was a really uncomfortable scene where he basically said he wanted to fuck the memory of her dead husband out of her, and I was just like, oh my God, let's not do that. Had it not been for that one thing, I would have given it 5 stars. So just putting that out there. So yeah, I think that this is where I'm going to end this reading vlog. I already started editing the first part of it and it's getting a little long. So definitely let me know if you guys want me to continue these casual vlogs and show you more of my daily life. I don't know. I don't want to be like conceited and think, oh, everyone is just so interested in what I'm doing throughout my day. But if you're interested in seeing what I'm doing throughout my day, I'm into doing more of these types of videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!